It's Tuesday, January 8th. Welcome to Pastor Bob Daily. On my landscape picture on Facebook, I made a little poster that says, "Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, or worn. It is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude." I like that quote. I had a comment that I wanted to comment on. Phil said, "I like a lot of what I see Pastor Bob write, but I'm going to respectfully disagree with this one. Happiness is an emotional state which can be quickly changed by the most minute of circumstances changing, i.e., waking up late, being late for school or work, breakup with boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, the food at the restaurant being delivered cold, having a cold, learning that a friend or loved one has died. Joy, on the other hand, is the spiritual experience that is one of the fruit of the Spirit, where, with His help, we can live every minute with love, grace, and gratitude." Thanks, Phil, and I absolutely agree with you. You know, we've talked about this a little bit before on here, and I think Phil has a really good point that I'd like to reiterate. You know, folks, there is a difference between happiness and joy, and the Bible talks about both of them. And it says to pursue both of them, actually. And it's God's will that we should be using the fruits of the Spirit. Now, joy is not from you. It's from God. It's what He does. And as we are submissive to God, and as we allow the Holy Spirit to work, as we've said so many times before in this podcast, from our innermost being, flowing out, John 7:37 to 39, from our innermost being, rivers of living water, then His fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, self-control. Those are His fruit. They have nothing to do with you. It's His. But happiness is something that you do. It's a choice that you make. And I think that both of these are really important because, you see, even though I'm allowing the joy of the Lord to permeate from my innermost being, it's also important that I personally get on board too. And that's called happiness. And as this quote says, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, or worn. It's a spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. But you see, happiness is the choice that I make. I choose love. I choose grace. I choose gratitude. An attitude of gratitude. But you see what happens? Folks, when you have grace and you allow joy and happiness to work together, something very exciting begins to happen. You start to feel a lot better. You start to realize that it's a working relationship that you have with God. And He gives you His fruit of the Spirit, not just so that those things can flow from you, but so you can react to them as well. And you can make choices based on that fruit that's pouring out of your innermost being. I love that. And I love the fact that our Christian life really is a partnership with God. And folks, again, happiness is something that you should seek. And it's a response to the joy and the rest of the fruit of the Spirit that God has given us through His love and His grace. And I love the part in the Bible that talks about that our joy may be overflowing, that joy is joy and peace, and all of those fruits of the Spirit are things that we feel even in the middle of a storm. And my friend Phil is absolutely right. Sometimes our happiness is quickly changed. But when it is, I need to respond to God's joy and bring the happiness back too. You understand what I'm saying? I think it's a great marriage. And, you know, Phil is absolutely right, and I appreciate him bringing this up. It's a very good point. And I hope that today your life is filled with joy, and that you respond with happiness. God bless you. Have a great day.